되려고 전에 okay, so you know how she talks about the religion and the religious stuff, and then she throws out the story. I think that was because she wanted to know how that affected the students.
Yeah, well, it's like a version of too much. And we should have local consumers at least I mean, the last one is the recipe.
Mercedes, can you just read us the question, please?
Explain how the author structures the argument your explanation should include an understanding of what elements make up the article in what order, and should include reasons.
Thank you. All right, Brooke, you're up.
The author structures her argument by consistently alternating between specific anecdotes about gay teens and their unfair treatment in school and the SSO legislation bill. On pages 1 through 2, they're talking about specific stories about Kristen and him being in a Christian school and receiving unfair treatment because of his sexual orientation. And then on page 3 through 4, it starts talking about Georgia and how they're strict with anti-gay policies. And then it continuously brings up the SSO.
Sorry, can you say that again? Georgia what?
Georgia's anti-gay policies. And it talks about the SSO laws that relate to it. And then on page 5, it starts talking about specific anecdotes again. And that continues until page 6, where it talks about the Georgia bill, House Bill 1133. And then it goes back to talk about specific anecdotes on page 7. And that continues up until the middle, or that continues until the end of page 8, where it finishes off by relating back to the SSO bill.
Maria, can I get some feedback, please?
Well, your answer was pretty good because she not only explained what each section was talking about, but she actually gave like it wasn't like broad, it was like kind of like in between. So in like the page numbers, like you really like cut it off, like how much they were talking about like each section.
Before we move on, I want to show you how this rubric works. So before we address whether we're ready to go to the next question, if you can't see this rubric, you can grab the one that I've given you, the individual ones. And we're just going to talk through briefly with this new system how Brooke would be graded here and how Maria would be graded based on the quality of the response / the feedback. So for dedication, taking a look at that rubric. Marco, go ahead and grab your individual rubric. Taking a look at that rubric for dedication. Yes or no, and why? Keith?
I think yes, because when she stated her answer, it matched up with the question, because in the question it says that you should include page numbers and what elements make up in what order. So that's exactly what she did.
Cool. Optimism. Isamar, yes or no, and why?
I think she deserves a 5 for optimism because she didn't make a face when you called on her, and she didn't ever like second guess herself
clarity. Mercedes?
She deserves a 5 because I didn't hear her like stutter once. She clearly stated her claim and heard it.
Agreed. Confidence, Marco?
I think she did a great job. She deserves a 5. She spoke loud enough for everyone to hear. She didn't stutter like Mercedes said. And when she was pointing out, it sounded like she really knew what she was talking about.
Agreed. Synergy. I'm going to have to go with Brooke's group on this one. So Keith, you just spent some time with Brooke, right? Was that answer better because of the last 10 minutes you just spent together, or was that pretty much what she came in with?
I think it was better because in the beginning she printed out the questions from, like, not as updated, and she kind of had a clue of it when we told her the question, but then what we said, she incorporated it and then answered the rest of it. So yeah.
Gotcha. Good. Okay. Claim. Does Brooke boil down her answer into a clear and accurate sentence, even though that answer may then take minutes to explain fully? Andrea?
She deserves a 5 because as soon as you called her in, she knew right away what to say for her. She got like the bottom.
What do you mean?
Like she wasn't like fishing around for the answer. Like she knew what the answer was and she said it. That was like the first sentence. And then to the question.
Okay, I agree. And evidence. Does she cite ample evidence that is relevant to the claim and genuinely proves the accuracy of the claim? Nice.
Yeah. She went through like all the page numbers. Well, she went through the whole article with all the page numbers.
And does the evidence that she gave prove her claim? I agree. The only issue that I have with the evidence, I would go in the middle here, I would do like a 2.5 here. The only issue that I have with the evidence is that there was no direct citation of any passage, right? So she referenced page numbers, but she didn't read us a single sentence at all. So we sort of had to take her word for it, right? So it was sort of like pointing out where evidence would be, but not giving us any totally direct evidence. So you certainly don't have to read us the article. You don't even have to read us a passage from every page. But I think it does, a good answer will have quotes read out loud from the passage, not just referencing page numbers. Cool. So she does not have a perfect answer, but she has a super strong answer. It's a 32.5 out of 30. And let's do that. It's a good answer. And we are super close now to being able to lock this one down and move on to the next one, right? Again, it's not about her having a perfect answer, but this does get the whole class very, very close to that perfect answer. Okay? With Maria gave feedback. Was Maria listening well such that she was able to directly comment on exactly what Brooke said? What do you think, Isamar?
I think that she did provide feedback, and she didn't she mentioned her evidence that she had page numbers, but I think that she could have listened a little better
What do you mean?
because she. I caught on to some stuff that Brooke probably would have needed, speaking her answer, and if Maria had listened a little carefully, that she would have caught it.
A little, what do you mean?
A little more.
Little.
Yeah, then she's like a little.
Okay. What do you think, Maria? Would you give yourself these points?
I agree.
You wouldn't? What do you think you should have done differently?
I gave her like a good feedback, but I didn't critique her answer.
Yeah. So I would give you those optimism points. I think you were positive. Okay. But I agree. Whoops. But I agree that the dedication could have been shown more strongly by being more specific with her and not just jumping straight to only good job, right? It's good to have positive and some critique. Unless she had a perfect answer, which she didn't quite perfect. Clarity. Was Maria clear? Did she state her feedback well? Was she easy to understand? Arma?
I would say no because when she was speaking, she had to stop and then she had to rephrase it again. And then it sounded like she was confused a little bit, but then she kept going.
Did she fix the confusion?
Yeah.
Okay. So I'm fine with that. And this is worth stopping and just clarifying. Like, she's totally allowed to stutter, lose her train of thought, back up, fix it, as long as it ends up clear, right? It's harder to do the feedback than it is to do the answer, because the feedback is right on the spot what just happened. Whereas the answer is, you've had all night or all week and all 10 minutes just before the bell to get ready for that answer, right? So I'm not expecting, like, she doesn't have to sound like the I have a dream speech, right? Power and truth. But she does have to make sure that she is clear. And I think even if she lost her clarity and you said she refound it, I would give her those points. That work for you? Okay. Now, on synergy, I would give her those points. And on confidence, I would not. You were very apologetic in your tone, which was ironic because you were complimenting her. But even though you're complimenting, there was a lot of like, I guess, and stuff, and yeah, and that's all, right? So there's a piece of, like, if you're going to go ahead and compliment her and say that she's done a great job, like, do that, full throttle. You don't have to apologize for that or stand back from that, okay? And the confidence place, the place where she lost confidence, which is what happens with a lot of you, was right at the end of her answer, right? Where it was like, good answer, good answer, good answer, blah, 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 still looking at me, I guess I'm still, I don't know, am I going to get it wrong? Yeah, that's the answer. Right? Say what you need to say, and then stop. And be confident all the way up through that final period, right? Don't do the plane crash thing, where it's like, yeah, I know. Right at the end. Okay? If you had stopped probably 10 seconds beforehand, I think you would have had the confidence. You just lost it in that last bit, where you felt like you had to apologize for not having more to say. So just say what you want to, and then be done if you're good. Make sense? Alright, so because this is the first time we've used this particular rubric, what I'm essentially going to do is I'm going to go in, and I'm going to enter these grades and see if they help you. If they do, I'll keep them there. If they don't, I'll take them out, because it's the first time we've ever done it. And like I said, they won't be real 100% until Monday. But I think in Brooke's case, at least, obviously an A+ will help. And in your case, I actually just don't know, so I'll run the numbers and I'll see. But thank you guys for doing that first. Now, yes?
Is this how you always hear it?
Yeah, but I won't take that long in front of the class every single time. I'll either do it super fast in front of the class, or I'll just do it on my own after you're back in a small group, okay? So you'll get the rubric from me pretty quickly, generally at the end of the class period, but we won't lose like 5, 10, 15 minutes per class doing this on the board every time. Okay? But those thought processes that I just went through with you are the same thought process.